Hello, my sloth yogis. Welcome to this 30-minute quickie targeting the shoulders, the upper spine, the chest region. Very effective if you're sitting at a desk all day or just generally hunched over in some way or another. We're going to get straight into this. Grab a couple of blocks if you've got them, they're going to really help. Or grab 2 to 3 pillows or cushions, that's also going to suffice. Absolutely perfect. Hey, I really appreciate your support on this channel. Every subscription really does make a difference, so thank you so much. Honor and a pleasure. Shall we get going? Don't have that much time. Let's go. Start in a seat or somewhere around there. Just a little bit of faffing around to set up the first shape, but it's going to be really worth it. One of my favorite postures. If you've got 2 blocks, it really helps out, but if you've just got some cushions, that'll work just as well anyway. So supported fish, we take 1 block just below the shoulder blades on the medium setting, and sort of just setting yourself up there. So if you're touching the shoulder blades, you might have gone a little bit too far up the spine, and then we bring the other block on its high side underneath the back of the head. So hopefully you've created a gap between both blocks where your shoulders can start to settle down. You might bring the legs into Supta Baddha Konasana or just straight legs. Either is perfect. And while you're possibly setting that up, I'll just go through it with the pillows. So it might not be quite as deep a back bend, but there's still definitely lots of range we can get out of it. I think 2 sort of couch cushions, maybe some bed pillows might be good, but definitely 2, I think, unless you've got some chunky boys. You might want something else underneath the head, like a 3rd pillow or something, but I think as it is, might be, nice. Just to get a little bit of a curvature through the back body. And then again, it's all about letting the shoulders and chest open out to the side. Now, as much as the pillows are lovely, I might jump back on the blocks. So setting yourself up, and we'll tuck in here for a nice little pause to begin with, whichever shape you've got going on. And sort of just want to start with settling into a stillness, settling into an ease of the body. And we'll help to encourage that along with a few tools that the yoga practice offers up. But really the first thing that we prioritize and maintain throughout the practice is a deep sense of intimacy and awareness with the body. So here, bring your attention into your body. So more attentive to just what's happening now in the body. Immediately you're aware of sensations in the spine, through the chest, through the rib cage and belly. You kind of broaden your awareness throughout the entire body, aware of the arms, aware of the face, the jaw and the eyes staying completely soft. Letting the legs become really heavy. And then starting to focus on prioritizing your own sense of well-being here. So minimize your obligations to the outside world here and maximize your obligation to yourself just for this period of time. And the main really effective tool that we have to use in this practice is the breath. So as you draw your attention to your breath, just start to notice the gentle movement that's happening through your torso, the expansion and contraction that happens on the inhale and exhale. And then starting to build a rhythm of breath. So as you breathe just a little bit more deeply down to the belly space, start to breathe out just a little bit more slowly. starting to coordinate your breath into a slowed pace, a deepened pace. And just for a little bit here, see if you can integrate a 6-second breath. Breathe in for 6 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds. Carry on with this breath, but as you're getting further and further into it, become more and more subtle with your breath. So smoothing the breath out, starting to treat it with a bit more of a delicate nature, a bit more soft. And then really letting the shoulders get quite heavy here. Just take a couple more of these breaths here. But on your next round, drop the count of your breath, but maintain the pacing of your breath. So now, more intuitively breathing deeply, smoothly, slowly. And just notice that the breath has the power to change your energy, to change your mood, and therefore your state of mind. It has the power to interrupt brain patterns or thought cycles. It has the ability to self-soothe and to soothe the nervous system. And these are the qualities of composure and really a practicality of awareness in the body that we look to maintain throughout the practice. So we'll start to come out of this shape, but we're still maintaining a nice rhythmic breath as often as we can. And then starting to draw the knees together if they're open. Not the easiest shape to get out of. You might roll off your pillows to the side. From blocks, you might dig the elbows into the floor. And just take your time to come up, no jarring movements. Probably a pretty big position for the spine to start in. Come on up and off any props that you might be on. Get rid of them off to the side. We'll come over the knees into tabletop position, all fours, hands and knees. And you might just take a sec with a flat spine, just to let it adjust. But as soon as you're ready, get into cat-cow. So taking an inhale to press the belly down, puff the chest forward and look up. Very gentle rounds to begin with. Exhale to very, again, slow, smooth, easy movement. Spine is still adjusting, coming out of that position. So dip to the arch in cat-cow, kind of utilizing the movement to, in a sense, get a deeper awareness into the body. So each movement, each posture places an emphasis on various areas of the body. And via that, you can start to get a feel for what's going on. We'll just take maybe 2 more rounds. And then really gently coming up into downward facing dog. So tuck in the toes and lifting up the hips. And once you've come up into down dog, make just a little bit of movement, pedaling out the legs, swaying the hips from side to side. Just a breath or 2 more here. And as much as we're going to sort of stretch out and open the shoulders, it's always good to bring some activation to them first, sort of awaken the muscles to then open them out into more stretchy stuff. So coming into high plank, bring shoulders above your wrists and then send your butt back into down dog, and just do that 2 or 3 more times. High plank brings you forward, rounding your upper back as you hit high plank. Taking it back to down dog, and now this time come into high plank. Drop your knees and lower all the way down until you're flat. Take the hands off the sides of the mat, up onto fingertips, and inhale to lift the chest up into cobra. Exhale to lower back down, and keep on going with that. Lifting and lowering the chest. Try to keep your feet down in the floor, nice and heavy, nice and firm. And take 2 more rounds. Lifting and lowering, waving through the spine. And the next time the chest comes down, go back through tabletop, all fours, hands and knees. And again, up into downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting up the hips. Walking the hands towards the back of your mat into a forward fold. And really just letting the upper body hang and dangle here for a few breaths. Just really feeling out the legs, feeling out the lower back. As much of a bend in the knees here as you need to. Just maybe 1 or 2 more breaths now. And rolling up the spine all the way through to standing. Reach and stretch the arms up at the top, and then folding straight back down, hands to the ground. Walking them out to plank position, shoulders above your wrists once again. And this time lowering all the way down until you're flat. And arriving there, take the hands just about as wide as the mat. Now turn off your glutes. So relax your butt cheeks and inhale to lift the chest pretty much as high as you like to go towards seal. And then lower straight back down. We'll do just a bunch more of those. So lifting, keep the butt soft. Exhale, lowering. Just do a couple more on your own, moving with your own timing of breath. So it's a bit more of an exaggerated kind of cobra, pushing a little bit more pressure into the spine itself. I'll just take 1 more big breath here, 1 more round. And as the chest comes down, head back through tabletop, all fours, into downward facing dog. 1 more time. And from there, starting to walk towards the top of the mat into a fold. Roll up the spine through to standing. Reach up nice and big. And this time interlace the hands behind the lower back. Roll back your shoulders. And then big bend in the knees as you fold. Lifting the hands up over the lower back. We'll take a few more breaths here. Squeezing the palms if you can. And then gently releasing the hands to the floor. Stepping the left foot back here into a lunge and lower the back knee to the floor. Raise up the arms towards the ceiling. And then in this shape, go ahead and bend the left elbow. Take it behind the head. Right hand up on top there. And lifting the head into the arm. Lift the head into your arm. Taking a little bit of a back bend there. A couple of deep breaths into the belly. Keep your left butt cheek nice and tight here, squeeze it. Breath or 2 more. And then very gently, just for a couple of breaths, straighten through the front leg and fold into half Hanuman. Front toes lift up. Relaxing the neck, really just a couple of breaths here. And then chest lifts up. Bring your hands inside your front leg, or your right hand inside it. Turn to the left side of your mat. So you're going to pivot on the back shin. You guys will be facing the left side of your mat. Lift the chest. Bring your right hand to the right knee. And left hand reaches up and over into a big side bend here, gate pose. Front foot can be nice and lifted here. We'll just take maybe 2 more deep breaths. And then just 1 little bit of trickiness here. Lift up the chest. Bring the hands down to the back of the mat. Pivot on your left shin. So your left knee should be somewhere between your hands. Now from here, a little bit of intensity here. Lift up the back knee. the front knee rather, left knee, hold for a sec, and then flip it into wild thing. Turn the left leg over the right, lift the hips, lift the chest. We'll just take 2 more big breaths there. And then as the left hand comes back down to the floor, lower all the way down until you're flat. You might lose me on camera, that's all right. Lift up the chest once you hit the deck into seal, that little back bend we did from before. Big breath there. And release, bringing the chest all the way down towards the floor. Now back through tabletop, hands and knees. So you should be facing the back of your mat now. And once you hit down dog, take a nice easy walk towards your hands, which is now the back of your mat. Halfway there, flatten out your back, and very simply step your right foot back. Right foot steps back. Lower the knee down, low lunge, arms up. Right elbow now bends behind the head, left hand up on top of it. And then, even though you're starting to lift the chest, drop the shoulders a little bit here. Squeeze your right butt cheek. And just take 2 or 3 more deep breaths now. And then releasing hands to the floor, straightening through the front leg into half Hanuman. Keep the front foot lifted as you bring the chest down over the front leg. A few steady, easy breaths here. One more deep breath now. Bring your left hand inside your left leg. So turning to the right now, and again, you're facing the side of your mat, right where we were a moment ago, lifting the chest for gate pose. Now, left hand to left knee, right hand up and over into the big side bend. A few steady breaths here, and really try and expand your right side rib cage, especially with your inhalations. And just take a couple more. And then lifting up the chest, hands back to the original top of the mat. There's a bit of a pivot on your knee. Your knee is somewhere between your hands, and then pick up that right knee off the floor into plank, holding it in, and then flip it into wild thing. So turn the right leg over the left one, step it outside the mat, raise the right hand, lift the chest. Nice big squeeze of the butt here for just a breath or 2 more. And then as the right hand comes down to the floor, plank position, lower all the way down until you're flat. And again, chest comes up all the way into seal. We take just 2 more big breaths there. And then releasing the chest, coming down, and we'll get into some more lazy stuff. So reach your left arm out to the side of your mat. Hand is in line with your shoulder, and then rolling onto your left hip. So you're really going to step your right foot behind the knee. And you might scoot your hips more towards the middle of the mat. Finding this nice big chest and shoulder opener. And then once you've found the position, really just start to work with body weight. So you're kind of feeling the right knee, the right hip tipping out to the side, getting a little heavier. There's an aspect of twisting that's happening in this. So it kind of lends itself towards relaxing the belly, relaxing the rib cage. And you might feel how you can exhale and create body weight on the right knee and hip, dropping out to the side via the torso relaxing and softening. We'll stay here for maybe just 3, 4, 5 more breaths or so. Not a whole lot of time, but definitely long enough to have a good effect on the shoulder. This opens up the front of the shoulder, that big ball at the front of the shoulder is called the front deltoid, and into the pec, your chest muscles, your big chest muscles. Some of us might feel it down into the bicep, maybe into the fingers for some of us. I'll just take maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then gently releasing, rolling out, nice and slow, coming down to flat onto the belly. Take a breath or 2 in between, but pretty much as soon as you're ready, head onto the other side. Right arm goes out to the right, hand in line with the shoulder, and then rolling over onto the right hip. Again, scooching the hips in towards the middle of the mat a bit more, relaxing the head to the floor. Half bind is welcome, just wrapping the left arm behind the lower back. But it's just sort of helping that body weight tip over to the left. So whether it's the knee or the knee and the arm, whatever it is, you've just got that sense of direction that you're headed with it. There's a sense of understanding the mechanics with it. And it's not that you need to know that before you go in. You're kind of just exploring your own body within the shape. Noticing what areas of the body are feeling constricted or restricted by the posture. Softening in those areas as best as you can, as bound up as they might be. You're actively giving attention to those areas of the body that are feeling a little tender. And yoga's kind of working on multiple levels here. Physical, energetic, mental, emotional, and dare I say it, spiritual. And with that, part of the power of it is how you're treating yourself mentally, how you're interacting with yourself via the posture, through the posture. So the posture itself a means, in one sense, to pay attention to the body, recognize the areas that are a little dysfunctional, maybe, and then give some kind of positive, nourishing attention to those areas. And just sort of chip away at it, little bit by little bit. The breath is definitely the biggest tool that you have to kind of penetrate those areas of tension. The process of softening and soothing the nervous system, and that in turn allows the body itself to relax and soften. Muscles will start to elongate. So part of your process is really getting rid of what's in the way of that. Broadness of awareness within your body is the key. Sensitive, intimate awareness within yourself. We've just got a few long breaths left here now. Within the next couple of breaths, ease on out, nice and slow, rolling down super gently. Once you've hit the deck, you're coming to a bit of a funny entry into a twist. So lift up the chest, coming back towards kind of seal from before, and then threading the right arm underneath the left armpit. Bring the left knee up to the side of the mat as you then open the left shoulder towards the ceiling, and you should land in a twist, letting the head relax, let the shoulder open. Now for some of us, it might be that the shoulder is just kind of hanging in space, and that's okay. It's really nice to kind of open up the chest and the shoulder region. But if it's none too comfortable, you can kind of just scooch the hips underneath you a little bit more, the back body underneath you, and get the shoulder down towards the ground, and naturally the left knee is going to come up in that process. So you just work with whatever kind of subtle positioning that you want there, noticing again where and how you can feel this posture, so that how the intensity of it, the kind of texture of it. Work with the breath, not the longest hold in this one, but again, working with that kind of surrendering, softening awareness of the body. Just 5, maybe 6 more breaths here in this twist. From here, very simply rolling out and rolling down onto your belly again. So left shoulder closes, coming back flat onto your belly. Take a breath or two there. You might come straight up and onto the other side. Left arm underneath the right armpit. Right knee draws up to the side of the mat, and then turning the right shoulder open. Again, work with your positioning of the posture. Integrating a nice slow, deep breath fairly immediately within the posture. Again, just gestures of kind of applying the importance of your own well-being in this time. The breath is a gesture of that. Your attentiveness and your awareness within your body is a gesture of that. And overall, just even doing the practice to begin with is a gesture of that. Keep working within the moment, pointing yourself towards well-being, a sense of ease, a sense of nourishment, really whatever well-being means to you in this context. Just a few breaths left here now. And from here, gently rolling down to again flat onto your belly, coming out, taking a few breaths there, making sure that the spine feels completely adjusted and settled. And then coming back into tabletop position, you might need your blocks or pillows. Maybe nothing at all will even work for this, but some version of puppy pose. So keep your hips stacked above your knees. So hips stacked above the knees. And then first choice without any props is just to walk the hands out in front of you and drop the chest down towards the floor. So hands out, drop the chest down, nice big arch in the back. Alternatively, we can possibly take that a little bit further with some sort of props here. So if you've got the blocks, I'll go through them first, but maybe the elbows come onto the blocks here, or the cushions, same. Elbows onto the cushions, prayer touch, and then dropping the chest from there. But that gets pretty intense pretty quick. Just hands on the floor is going to be enough to begin with. Won't stay in this one for too long. Let's give it a little hold. The closer your arms are together, the more intense it's going to be. The further apart your arms are, the more it sort of comes off the shoulders. One more big breath here. And gently release as best as you can, coming out of that shape. And once you're ready, come down onto your back. Take the legs out to the side. Roll them down towards the back. Once you've come down onto the back, just one round of bridge. So feet on the ground, tilt the tailbone up and lift the hips. You can take wheel if you want. Let's make it an active bridge. Either way, not very long here at all. 5 big breaths. Squeeze your butt. Breath or two more here. And release. Bringing the hips straight back down. Dropping the knees a couple of times from side to side, left to right. Catching happy baby for a brief moment. Taking the outer blades of the feet. And just having a bit of a pedal. A little bit of a kick there. Just a couple more breaths. 2 or 3. And releasing the legs to the ground. Now, I'm going to throw out 3 options to come into a bit of a rest. It's kind of a quasi shavasana. Kind of going to do a posture and fill in that time with another posture, but definitely going to rest in this. So supported bridge is one option. Hips up, block underneath your butt, underneath your tailbone, and legs extend. Option 1. Option 2 is to finish where we began. I really like that shape. Block underneath the thoracic spine, the middle of the spine, just underneath the shoulder blades, and one underneath the head or the pillows again. And the third option is legs up the wall pose. And that might be a nice balancer. If you've had enough on the shoulders, if there's just energetically a little bit too open, chuck your legs up the wall. So you scoot your butt up against the wall, legs go up. They can be straight, they can be wide. And you know what? Good old fashioned shavasana is absolutely perfect as well. We'll tuck in here for a bit of a rest. And especially after any form of movement, yoga really encourages you to take rest, to kind of balance that out. Here, as you get into shavasana or something like it, really give priority to rest here. Try not to skip it, try not to think that it's not useful or effective. It's profoundly effective. Can really make a big difference on the rest of the day. To just have a few minutes of stillness, quietness, no distractions of any screens other than the one that you've got here. Not separating your attention away from the body, but rather deepening your awareness within the body, now in a sense of stillness rather than movement. Notice this space. Stay sensitive to this space. Give yourself a few more minutes here if you possibly can. Always a pleasure and an honor to guide you through these practices. Very much appreciated. I'll say namaste and sign off. I'll see you next time.